What we're going to talk about today is the 3 biggest mistakes you're making with your content strategy. And, you might not be making all of them. You might not see them as big mistakes, but for me, these are the 3 biggest mistakes I see people making. And most importantly, I really want to help you to fix them, because so often I join webinars or workshops with people and they talk about all the things you're doing wrong, but they never give you the how-to and the information that you really need. So I think it's quite important to just delve into that a little bit as well. So briefly, for those that don't know me, I am Nicola De Piazzi. I am a marketing consultant and coach. That's my husband in the background. I have been a marketing consultant working for myself from home, like a lot of women who have children and then go back to the workforce and find that it just doesn't work. I started my own marketing business, and now I focus a lot on working with female business owners to coach them to show up confidently online and have awesome marketing and content strategy. Because when I started 5 years ago, I was not in this confidence space. I had massive imposter syndrome. I didn't know enough, didn't know what I was doing, didn't really know what it meant to kind of step into that role of business owner. And it's been a huge journey. If any of you are on that business journey, you'll probably thinking like I did, oh, I'll just start a business. And actually what you end up doing is going on this huge journey of personal development. And it's a great fun journey to be on. I love it. But oh God, I've just had a message to say my internet connection is unstable. So hopefully I won't lose you and you won't lose me. So anyway, now I very much fall into that coaching role of helping other women get to where I am now and have confidence to be the face of their brand and have awesome strategy. So that's who I am. Now, I did briefly say there were a few little housekeeping things I wanted to go over. So just so that you can concentrate on what we're delivering today and what we're chatting about, it's just a really good idea to have your phones on silent, close your other tabs down if you can. I do understand we're busy. As women, we multitask a lot. Sorry, Josh, I know I'm talking about women a lot, but that's generally my target audience, although I'm loving having you here. Allow yourself this time to learn, because, good on you for taking the time and signing up. I'm grateful, and you should be like really proud of yourselves. Mute your microphone if there is a lot of background noise, just because it's a bit distracting for all of us. I'm really happy, like I said a few minutes ago, I'm really happy for this to be a two-way conversation. Please, please, please ask questions. If I tend to talk quite fast, I tend to get a bit excited about my content and everything I want to talk to you about. So slow me down, ask questions. Let's make this a conversation if we can, and be respectful. So if someone is talking, please be quiet, let them have their space. Just no comments about what people are saying, all that kind of thing. I'm sure we will be respectful. Josh is connecting with his feminine side. Good on you. That's what we like to hear. So before we delve in today, I just want us to make a commitment to ourselves today that we are going to stop wasting our time online. Because if you're out there and you're taking lots of action and doing lots of things online and not seeing results, then essentially you're wasting your time. So that is what we're going to stop today. We are here today to improve our online presence, to help us reach our business goals in the most efficient way, because we don't have a huge amount of hours, especially as female business owners, many of us who are mums as well. We need to get to our goals the efficient way, which means we need a strategy. So that's what we're aiming for today, and that's what I want you all to commit for, that we're going to stop wasting our time. And you are in the right place today if you are using digital channels for your business. So that doesn't have to just be social media. It can be Pinterest, YouTube, your website, LinkedIn, or any kind of digital platform for your business. And you want to try and attract an audience to you and your business. So that's anything doing online, you need to be attracting an audience. If you want to then sell your products and services online, or if you want to sign up customers, so you're working in person rather than online, but you're using the online platform to sign those people up and to attract them to you. if you are committed to doing online marketing better, more efficiently, and if you want to convert potential prospects into customers, because I think that's often an area that people forget. They create lots of content and they think, yeah, I'm doing everything I need to do, but they forget that they've got to then go that next step and try and convert people into paying customers, because after all, sales is what we want. If we don't make sales, we don't have a business. Now, you don't need to have a tick against all of those things, but if some of those resonate with you, and that's why you're here today, then awesome. So before we dive into...
Put it down, please.
Before we dive into the content for today, I'm just going to start with the basics. So what is content and why is it important? Because if we are online with our business, then your content is all you've got. You know, it's a busy place out there in the World Wide Web, and your content is what is going to stop the scroll and get people to connect with you. So basically, your content is anything that you create and share online that represents your business and is designed to attract followers. So, and from that, I mean anything that you post. It is how you get eyes and ears on your business. So like I said, that's all you've got. If you're creating content for your social platforms or your website or your YouTube channel, whatever, that is how you're hoping to attract people to you. Your content and digital platforms are like your online shop fronts, and they help to build a profile for your business. And so with that in mind, what is your content currently saying about your business? So if someone who didn't know you at all suddenly came upon your Facebook feed, what impression are they going to get of you within, 5 to 10 seconds? Because that's the amount of time you have to make an impression. So think of your content that you produce like having a physical shop that people would walk into and they'd see everything that you offer. Well, they've got to be able to build an impression of you very quickly from what you put out there. And to attract an audience, your content needs to be engaging, shareable, and always have your customer in mind. So that is super important. Okay, enough of the introductions. Let's dive in to what the 3 biggest mistakes are that people make with their content. Now, of course, this is just my opinion. So there are lots of mistakes that people make, and I may have kind of like bunched 2 or 3 together into sort of one so that we can talk about lots of things today. But mistake number 1 that people make with their content strategy is that they have no strategy. And that is like the biggest mistake ever. And I spent years having no strategy. Years and years and years. I didn't really understand what the word meant. I was kind of saw lots of entrepreneurs talking about strategy online and joined lots of free webinars. And it took ages for it to click. So I love this quote by Benjamin Franklin: if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And it's just so true. If you're just winging it, posting whatever comes to mind, creating content on the fly, not really having a systematic plan in place, then you're just essentially wasting your time online and you're setting yourself up for failure. So these are some of the mistakes. Does this sound like you? You're taking lots of daily action, but there's no strategy. So I'm sure a lot of you are posting every single day and are making lots of wonderful content and are taking lots of daily action. You hear all these entrepreneurs saying, you've just got to show up, be consistent, show up daily, do one thing for your business every day. And lots of us do that. Woohoo, go us. But if there's no strategy behind it, then again, you're showing up and you might be making some connections and people are sort of starting to get to know you, but without the strategy, you're sort of still wasting your time a little bit. So you have no idea where you are leading your prospects. There's no plan in place to convert them. And there's no set objectives. So a lot of us just kind of wing it because we don't have time and we don't allow ourselves the time for the planning phase. Especially when we work for ourselves, we have limited hours. We feel like unless we're doing, then we're not actually working in our business and working hard enough. But you've got to allow yourself time for the planning and the creativity and the creation, that side of things. So how do we fix mistake number one in that we have no strategy? Well, there's a few things that we can do. The first one is begin with the end in mind. So like with most things, we set a goal and then we reverse engineer to create the tactics that we need to get us to that goal. So set your end goal, create your tactics, which is your content to get there. So stop randomly posting. Yes, show up every day because that is awesome. Good on you, but it needs to have a plan behind it. So instead, you should be creating content that takes prospects on a journey to your end goal. Now, this is the same thing that we do in lots of areas of business, beginning with the end in mind. So if your goal is to get 50 more people on your email database, then you need to set up some content tactics to lead people on that journey to convert them onto your email address or database. If your end goal is just to sign more clients, then you need some tactics and to create content that is going to lead people on that journey, and then eventually you convert them. And we will go a bit more into the how-to of that as we go today. So set up your offers and your content buckets. You have got to be crystal clear on what you are selling. So if you're a service-based business and you are offering coaching or marketing or social media management or health and fitness coaching, you can't just kind of rock up and say, work with me because I'm lovely. You know, you've got to know what the offer is and be super clear on what it is, the transformation you're providing. And then I talk about content buckets quite a lot, and I do have another training on content buckets. So if that's something that's unfamiliar to you, then feel free to get in touch and I can help you with that. So you need to know a good way to work it out is what are your revenue streams. So often we have more than one revenue stream. So for me, I offer several different services and my Thriving Business Mums Club. Or some people might offer one-on-one coaching package and then a sort of group package and then something else. Or if you're a product-based business, you've got your maybe your core set of products, and then you might offer a few different things. So a really good way to set up your content buckets is to look at what your different revenue streams are and then literally list everything that you can talk about under those subjects. Or another way to look at it is just the topics that are relevant to your audience and your business. If you're on Instagram and you save content into highlights, that's a good way to think about what your content buckets are, because you're already separating your content into certain topics. And another is if you're blogging or producing more long form content like that, then you tend to blog under certain topics as well. So for me, I talk about marketing, content, strategy, female business ownership, mindset, productivity. So I have all these different topics that I talk about, and I have my content set up under those topics. And so I know I'm never going to run out of ideas because I'm always adding to them. A huge tip is to have this set up in like Google Sheets or something where you can access it wherever you are. So if an idea comes to you, you can just stick it into your phone, whether you're at home or in front of a computer or not. Or to use a note-taking app on your phone, I use Google Keep, so that generally ideas come to you when you're more relaxed and like your mind wanders, so like in the shower or walking the dog, and then you can just whip out your phone and get your ideas down. Because so many times I've thought to myself, oh, great idea, and then I get home and it's gone in one ear out the other. I literally cannot remember it. So write those ideas down so that you can be more strategic and you are talking very clearly about your topics, and then you're leading your customers on a journey across one of those topics to the final destination, which is one of your revenue streams. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. I don't think there's anything in the comments, but feel free if you don't want to speak. I know some people aren't confident enough to chat in a group. If you want to put a question in the comments, you absolutely can. So another really important thing is to track everything you do and record it and make sure you know what's working and what isn't. Cool. We'll look into Google Keep. Yep, highly recommend it. So produce content that you know your audience love, and stop wasting your time on stuff that, you know, doesn't really work or get engagement, even though you might love to produce it. So make sure you check your insights, check your website analytics, make sure you know what is bringing people to you, what's working well, how can you make improvements, what conversions did you get at the end of kind of one of your journeys that you've taken your customers on. So that's hugely important. And now I've got a little thing for you to do. So be, do, have. This is a very popular exercise for anyone and any area of your business. Who do you need to be and what do you need to do to have the client sales business of your dreams? So when we're talking about content, I'm often talking to people and I'm asking them to do things that they don't feel comfortable to do. They need to show their face, they need to start doing lives, talking to camera, Instagram stories, creating video, whatever it is that's like a bit different to what they have done before. And it scares them, and I totally get that. Like, we all have to start somewhere. I didn't immediately jump on to selling my business online and feel really comfortable in front of camera. And in fact, quite often I still don't, but I push myself to do it because I know it's what I need to do. It's the person I need to be, and it's what I need to do to have the business that I want. So I just want you to take 5 minutes, and you can do this exercise at any time. If you feel challenged by something, if you feel that resistance, that procrastination starts creeping in over a task that you've got to do, or you know that you should be doing something and you're making up so many excuses not to do it, write this question down and answer it in your journal, or just on a scrap of paper, or just mull it over for a minute. So I am going to pause and shut up for 2 minutes while you write down who you need to be and what you need to do to have the clients, sales, or business of your dreams. Go. Now I'm a bit hot, so I've put the fan on, but my microphone tends to pick up all the little noises. So I'm sorry if you can hear that whirring, but I just need the fan. I've shut the window to stop the noise of the traffic. Okay, I don't know if I've given you enough time, but again, you can come back to that little exercise at any time. So that's the end of mistake number 1, having no strategy. Hopefully I've cleared up a little bit for you that strategy is essential, and you need to have your end goal at the forefront of your mind, and you need to take time to plan, and you need to work out the journey that you're going to take your customers on to get them to that end goal and to convert them. So let's move on. Is everyone okay with me moving on? Just give me a nod. Yeah, cool. So, yeah, okay, cool. Thank you. Right, mistake number 2. I don't know why I'm grinning. Because mistake number 2 is that your content is boring. Now, I don't know if your content is boring or not, because I don't know all of you and I don't see what all of you do on a day-to-day basis online, but this is a huge issue for people, and they wonder why they're not getting engagement. They're like, but I'm showing up and I'm being consistent and I'm there every day, but why aren't people engaging with me? So does this sound familiar? you only tend to post one type of content. So you stick to the safe graphics, photos, quotes, maybe a testimonial thrown in here or there if you have any, and ask for any. That your content is like low quality. So you might be kind of just screenshotting lots of like inspirational quotes from Google, and then they're sort of slightly low quality, but oh well, use them anyway. So that's not ideal, and it's not engaging. And we're going to get on to how we make it engaging. And that you're afraid to show you. This is a massive, massive, massive one. And again, it comes back to that do be have or be do have, whichever way it was, because people will buy from people. We know that. I'm sure you've heard that before. I'm sure everyone's been banging on about that to you for ages. And you have got to show up and be the face of your brand. You have got to allow people in behind the scenes to get to know you a little bit, to feel a connection with you, so that they want to work with you, and that you have no branding. So how do we fix boring content? Well, firstly, it's good to understand that there are so many different types of content, and I like to break them down into short and long form content. So we're not just talking social media when it comes to content. So these are, I'm sure you can tell, the slightly more long form content, and the choice is endless. I could have doubled that list. So blogs, podcasts, videos, tutorials, webinars, doing a live, creating an ebook, creating templates, doing a quiz, an infographic. All of these things have a lifespan of longer than like 24 hours, which generally a social media post has. So this is why it's essential to have a website, because all of this stuff you can host on your website. It also can encourage you to build your email list, which, as we saw last week with what Facebook did to all the news accounts and government accounts, if they decide they're going to shut you down, that's it, you lose your social media following. And if you've got nothing else, if you have put no time into building a list and building followers who are like hanging off every word and want to hear from you, who are a warm audience, then if anything does happen, and I've seen it happen a lot with Facebook accounts being shut down for, hardly any reason at all. And then these are your short form content. So this is more of your social media. So images, graphics, Instagram or Facebook stories, quotes, reviews. So in there, you could also put reels and IGTV, but they do have a slightly longer lifespan. But if you think about how we use social media, you post. So you're up there and you're doing your daily posting and you're showing up and you're being consistent, and you do your post, and then within 12 hours, it's been shoved right down the feed, and the next person is there, and you're on that hamster wheel of continually posting. And so if there's no strategy behind that posting, literally all you're doing is sort of showing your face for 8 to 12 hours, and then you're gone again. Whereas the longer form content, especially with things that allows you to use search engine optimization and keywords, it is there, and it is there for a long time. You can have these things hosted on your website. You can point your followers to them. You can ask them for their email in exchange. You can offer them all this amazing content that you've got that shows that you're an expert in your field and that you're offering value and that you're educating them, and you give them a freebie so that they know that you know what you're doing. And then at some point you go back to them and say, hey, how was that freebie? Do you need any more information? Would you like to work with me? Maybe not quite that blankly, but you know what I mean? It's all about conversions, but you've got to get them interested in the first place. And just social media, 24-hour lifespan type posts is not always going to be the way to cut it. So you need to look at creating lots of different types of content. The second thing is to stop your content being boring, is to show up. You have to allow people to connect with you. You've got to be the face of your brand. You've got to get comfortable on camera, and there are easy ways to start doing that. This is what I help women do. I help you show up confidently, because if I talk to people who are quite new to business and say you've got to show up, they're all like, oh no, I don't know, no, that's not for me, I can't do that. But It's how we connect these days. Social media is about being social. You've got to allow people to get to know you. You've got to start using Instagram stories, allow people to know what you get up to in your spare time. You don't need to give everything. And I think that's what people are scared of. You don't need to show your kids' faces. You don't need to tell them what you're up to every minute of the day. You give them a little slice of what you do and what your interests are, and really let them get to know you a little bit to build that relationship. So change it up. Like refer back to that list of all the different ways you can create content, and you create your strategy. So you have your end goal in mind, and then you create your tactics. So reverse engineer how you're going to start and then take those people on that journey with all sorts of different types of content. So I have just put out that I wanted to do this content workshop. And in the space of doing that, I've created posts with photos. I've done a reel. I did an IGTV with another business owner. I created an event on Facebook. I went live on Facebook in my group. And so all these different tactics I used, giving really valuable information and educating people on different forms of content, but with the little call to action of, hey, come and join my workshop. And that's what you need to do. But you can't just expect people to want to work with you if all you're doing is posting photos and boring photos, low quality photos. And your branding. So like we've said before, it's a busy place out there in the World Wide Web, on the internet, and you want to be able to be visible. You want people to recognize your business. And I mean, you know, we're not talking Airbnb, Google, ANZ Bank, whatever, you know, they have amazing branding and they're worldwide brands and we are very familiar with them. But for you, it's still essential to not just have a good logo, but to know what your colors are, your tone of voice, your fonts, the type of imagery you want to use, the filters that you use, so that you're recognizable and that those colors mean something, that they link with your values and the values that you want to attract. So my colors are the sort of blue, yellow and green. I tend to use the sunflower because I really believe in that sort of positive shining light. And, you know, and I hope that people recognize. So if I'm doing a graphic post on my Instagram or Facebook feed, I'll use the same colors every single time. It all looks fairly similar so people can see it and recognize that that's me. So it's really important to have your branding, and that just comes into that foundational stage of having your business set up before you even start doing any marketing. You've got to do the basics. So I always teach before the marketing, doing the marketing and converting the marketing. So before the marketing is knowing all the your branding, your messaging, working out your ideal customer avatar, and we're going to get onto all that, but having those basics in place before you even start. Because otherwise you're going to go out there and market, but it's not really, there's going to be no connections. People can't make sense of it. Oh, okay. So we're on to mistake number 3. So that was boring. Stop being boring. Create content that is going to attract people to you, change things up a bit, show up as the face of your brand. So mistake number 3 that I think people are making very commonly with their content strategy is that you don't know your audience. And again, this is a huge one because it's a busy place out there. You have got to be talking directly to your people. They have got to see themselves in your content. They have got to read in their words what you're creating and recognize themselves in it and go, yes. Often people don't know they have a problem until you show them that they've got this problem. So these are the mistakes that people make. You just post whatever you feel like posting because you haven't got your content bucket sorted or set up. And so you're like, oh, I haven't posted today. I've got to get something out there. So you just chuck it out. You're always just posting about your business and all the amazing features that you have and all the ways you can help people, but you're not really thinking about the audience. You're not addressing your audience's objections, and you're thinking it's all about you and not them. So it is a bit about you, but it is mostly about them. So these are very common mistakes. So how do we fix mistake number 3? Well, we really get to know our audience. So you've got to delve deep into this person or people, like you know them, like you know your best friend. So you know their pain points, then you address their pain points and you show the transformation that you can get for them, and do your research. So by doing your research, this means you build a profile of a person that you are speaking directly to. And it might be 3 or 4 different people, depending on the business you own. But I do always recommend that you start with one ideal customer avatar. You want to give them a name, an age, roughly an age group, what they do for a living, what income they have, what keeps them up at night, what they do for fun, where they find their information, the sort of things they watch on TV. You know, this is how you connect with your people, by talking in their language. Now, doing your research sounds easy, and it's not always. I mean, if you've been in business a while, you probably have a few customers, so talk to them, go to them, create a survey, or just ring someone up, say, can I ask you a few questions? Dig deep, work out what it is that is there keeping them awake at night. What are their issues that need addressing? You can also look in Facebook groups. So I'm sure you belong to a few. If you don't, join some that are relevant to your industry and your business, and use the search bar in the groups. Just search for keywords that are relevant to your business and just find out what questions people are asking. So if people are saying, oh, how do I make it work with a toddler, and I'm trying to have a business and my time management is, so I know that, you know, those are the sort of words that people are using, and I can use those words then in my marketing. So it's really good to use the words that they use so they see themselves in your content. Yeah, so that's probably the 2 best ways to do your research, I would say. So make sure that you are creating content for your audience rather than just for you. So before you hit post, is this something that my audience will find of value? So I see this all the time with people just posting content that's just like, oh, I can do this and I can do that, and I help you with this and I help you with that. And it's not designed for your audience. You're not talking to them. You've got to use you instead of I as much as you can. And you need to be addressing their objections in the content that you're creating. So the know, like, trust factor. So we've heard this before, lots of people bang on about this, but it's true. So it's that whole allowing people to get to know you, making your content engaging. I use engaging, inspiring, entertaining, because you want to show that you're an expert at what you do. You want to build confidence and trust. You want to be building relationships, and then that will definitely help with conversions. So don't be afraid to do a slightly longer post from time to time. Don't be afraid to let them know what you know. But tell it as a story if you can. Storytelling is a huge way of getting your point across in a way that can make sense to a lot of people. So, you know, the art of storytelling is millions of years old. We use stories all the time in our daily lives. So tell your story and use other stories to create engaging content, and that will address your audience objections. So show how you've overcome an issue, or show what issue you had, then how you overcame it, and then how you can help your customer do the same thing. Or tell a story of, you know, something that happened to you the other day and how it relates to your business and, you know, what you overcame. And it's just a really good, really good way of people kind of getting to know you better. And sell. So we're often told, you know, all your content needs to be inspirational and engaging and entertaining. And if you're selling, then people are going to be like, I don't want to hear that. I'm being spammed and sold to. But yeah, at some point you have to sell. At some point you have to step up and say buy. You're trying to convert people. So it's that 80-20 rule. You know, 80% of your content should be really valuable to your audience and showing everyone that you are the person to go to for your particular industry or business. But then at some point you've got to say, hey, I can help you with this. So there should be call to actions at the bottom of your post. There should be questions so that people are encouraged to answer you and keep engaging with you. And if you have an issue with selling, then that's something I need to work with you to help you overcome, because it's not icky at all. In fact, you are doing a disservice to people by not selling them your product or service, because they need your product or service. And it's going to help them transform their lives and have a better life. So, you know, why would you not? So don't feel funny about it. And that's something I work with female business owners with as well, to get them over that idea of selling is like, oh no, I can't sell, I'm not a salesperson. But you sell every day. And if there's a movie that you really, really want to see and all your friends are like, nah, not sure, you get in there and you sell the reasons why they need to come to that movie. And you persuade them and you find your arguments to get them to see your point of view. So you are selling daily.
I'm 69.
I sell to my kids constantly to get them to do what I need them to do. So you just recognize it in yourself that we do it. Oh, okay, we've kind of reached the end. So I just wanted to put this on here because in the order I've shown you the 3 mistakes as being that you have no strategy, that your content is maybe boring, and that you don't know your audience very well. But when it
68 is there.
When it comes to your content, I would the other way around. So it's really good to know your audience inside out first. You've got to have the basics in place. You've got to do that before the marketing bit. Then think about the different ways you want to deliver your message and create your content, and then take them on the journey of discovery to your final outcome of whatever you're choosing is, whatever your goal is for that month or that week or that 3 months. If you're selling a big package or a big product, maybe you want to take people on a slightly longer journey. So it's still good to have your goal in mind initially, but you should have already done your audience kind of work first and your branding and messaging. And then you need to create your tactics to get them onto that, to get them onto your journey and to keep them on your journey. So that's why it needs to be interesting and keep them coming back. And the beauty about doing lives and things is that's content for you in the run up to the live. You can promote it for sort of 3 or 4 days in advance. You can chat to people on your Instagram stories about the thing you're going to be doing with this other business owner, or you're going to be talking about. So make sure you show up, do a little timer thing. You know, that everything you do that's new and different on social media gives you more and more and more content. And it's like a wheel. It's doing a snowball effect. So, you know, look into doing that. And make sure if you do a live, you promote it beforehand to encourage people to turn up. Ask them for any questions they might have. Once it's finished, then you direct them back to it. I finished this. It's really awesome. Should be valuable for you. Take them back there. Just don't just finish your content and just sit there. So, does anyone have any questions for me? Feel free to put things in the chat if you don't want to talk live.
I don't have any questions, but thank you. You've definitely narrowed, you know, like pinpointed my attention much more narrow, which is good. A bit clearer. Good.
That's what we like to hear. Right. Well, before we go, obviously, what comes next? Oh, there's something in the chat. Let me just check. I don't seem to be able to keep it open for some reason. Thanks, Vika. That was fantastic. Definitely give me some homework to do. Good. That's what we like to hear. So, look, I just want to ask for 5 more minutes of your time. Or should we be scheduling content? Yes, 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 Josh. Okay, so it's up to you. John, I'm assuming you can all see the comments, but Josh has said, should we be scheduling content? And if so, what do we use? So I schedule content within Facebook on the inbuilt scheduler that they provide. I schedule as much as I possibly can. So sometimes it's hard to schedule something if you're going to go live, or you want to do something a little bit more interesting, create a reel or something on Instagram. But, you know, some of my posts are just static graphics with text. So if I've got my plan and then I schedule as much as I possibly can, and then add in the little bits here and there. And part of my scheduling is putting aside time to create the other posts that might need a bit more time, so a bit more in depth, like the videos. For Instagram, I use Planoly, but there are lots of different things out there. I mean, there are companies that allow you to schedule to lots of different platforms from the one. So I know that, oh God, what's the one that we use for Pinterest? Oh, it's gone out of my head. From there, you can Tailwind. You can schedule pins to Pinterest, but you can also schedule to Instagram and lots of different places. So there's heaps and heaps of different companies out there that do the same thing. Hootsuite later. I mean, there's loads. But so if you want help on that, please ask me. You can always message me privately. Reply to the email that you received this morning with the link for this workshop. And I can help you with that. But yeah, I like Planoly because it allows you to set out your feed and you can see how it's all going to look before you post. And you can have images and graphics waiting to go before you even post them. So you can see how it's all going to look and you can be prepared. So I wouldn't be doing my job properly if I didn't try to sell you what I do and how I help you, because this is how it works. And everything I've shown you today is what I am living and breathing and doing. I just put this up here because it's a recent review I received from a customer that I did a marketing audit with recently. And I'm just going to go through the 4 ways that you can work with me, because we are here to sell. Where are we? So the 4 ways you can work with me. I offer a marketing audit, which is what I did for the customer that was in that testimonial. If you have been in business a while, this is more for people that have been doing marketing, have some experience of doing social media, but it's just not working and they're not seeing results. So I do 2 sessions, it's $247, and we just dig deep into kind of what you're currently doing, where you might be going wrong and how you can make changes. And I set you off with a sort of 90-day plan for moving forwards. If you're starting from the beginning, then I work with you over 4 sessions where we dig a lot deeper into the foundational stage of getting everything set up in place before you even go with your marketing. And we look at a lot more to do with sort of mindset and how you show up online and how you get over any blocks. That's $547. I also offer, if you're looking for a little bit more, I offer a one-on-one coaching package, which is 8 sessions. And this, again, delves into why the whole woman, because the longer I've been in business, the more I have realized that it's got very little to do with business and marketing and a whole lot more to do with, you know, what's going on up here, our psychology, what our habits are like, how productive we're being, whether we're building a network, whether we're looking after ourselves in terms of our energy levels and what we put into our bodies. So we go through a whole load of different things to really get you to step into that role of CEO of your business, because it's just essential. And you can go there slowly, or you can work with a coach and get there, you know, without having to go through the drudgery. And I also have my Thriving Business Mums Club. So this is a monthly subscription. If you're a business mum, and we talk a lot about sort of productivity and systems, because I know that time is often an issue. It's $57 a month. Basically, you're getting coaching for, well, without the one-on-one price tag. It's in a group setting. So we have coaching calls every month. I deliver a masterclass each month, and we work together to plan our content for the month ahead. Plus, there's a 5-step framework all loaded onto the members portal that you work through in your own pace. And it's just a really nice community. So that's a really good way to get coaching without doing it one-on-one. So I just wanted to highlight this offer that I have for you guys that showed up live. If you sign up to work with me within the next 24 hours, I will give you these bonuses. I will audit one of your platforms for you. So either your website or one of your social media platforms. I will help you set up your content buckets so that you are good to go with your content strategy. And I will give you a private coaching session to help you show up online, to be the face of your brand, because I know it's a bit confronting and it just drags up all those kind of uncomfortable feelings. But it is easy if you know how and you put the steps in place. So thank you for giving me time to sell my services to you. If you want to hear more from me, please, I love to hang out on Instagram. I'd much rather be there than Facebook. So you can find me, Nicola De Piazzi Marketing, the same on Facebook. I do have the group, the Whole Woman Business Group. Again, that just focuses on all the different aspects of what it takes to become a female business owner, a thriving business owner. So feel free to join that. You can just search for that in the bar. lots of stuff going on in there all the time. And my website is nicoladepiezi.com. You can always find blog posts there. My freebie, at the moment, my freebie is a 10-point checklist that what you should really be doing on social media. So rather than just posting, setting and forgetting, 10 ways that you can may optimize the time you spend on social media, increase engagement, and hopefully convert more sales. So you can go and grab that from my website, and we are done. I just want to say thank you for spending some time with me this morning. I hope I have helped you improve your content strategy and sort of get on track with what you should be doing in the online world. You're very welcome, Josh. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicola. You're good at what you do.
Oh, well, thank you. I've really enjoyed it. I love it. It lights me up, and you can probably tell.
I can.
Very. Anyway, lovely. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm happy to hang around for a couple more minutes if anyone's got any questions. Otherwise, we will go and get on with our busy days.